Hello there, hope you're all well. Just a quick update. I'm doing a bit of a grass walk, having a look at one of the fields that we're going to be cutting for silage. You can see it there behind me, a glorious green. Usually we'd look to cut silage for first cut, so we take a number of cuts throughout the summer each year and we cut that grass and we preserve it by wrapping it up in basically cling film to preserve the grass so that we can feed it to the cattle in winter. But what I'm doing today is just trying to get a bit of a check on what stage the grass is. So grass plants go through different stages. You have your first stage. I've got a couple of examples that I prepared earlier. The first stage that we're looking at is the 3-leaf stage. So that's the stage at which we really want to be grazing this grass because there's the most sugar and the least sort of hard cardboard like grass in there. So lots of sugar, lots of protein. This is the stuff that really helps the cows to grow when they're eating it. And this is a particularly tall and shiny ryegrass plant. I don't know if you can just about see the rib on the back of that leaf there going all the way up to the top. But then the next stage of the grass plant is where it starts to enter the next reproductive phase. So it's thinking about sowing its seed. So you get the grass plant looking a bit more like this, and the eagle-eyed amongst you will spot that this is actually a different variety of grass. This is a bit furrier, and I think this is a variety called Timothy. So this is a bit more furry than the ryegrass plant that we just saw, a bit less shiny, and grows better in the sort of shoulder months, the cooler months of the year. But this plant, it's still got the 3 leaves, but that central one has just sort of turned itself into a bit of a cylinder. And so in that cylinder, you can see on this plant, there is the seed head, and this seed head is just thinking about coming out. So what we want to be doing is we want to be cutting the field when the majority of the grass, because all the different grass plants that you can see, the millions and millions of grass plants that you can see in this field are all at different stages, and we want to cut this field of grass when the average grass plant is just about to go from that 3-leaf stage that we saw first into that sort of seed head stage, because that's when we'll get the best quality grass for our animals. Why is he telling me this? You'll be asking yourself. Well, it's because we're thinking all the time about the quality of the food that we're giving to our animals, and that food which goes into our animals, we want to be the best quality so that the animals grow and are as healthy as possible and are as happy as possible when they're eating their grass, and that in turn produces the best quality food for you guys. So if it's cows, it might be beef, it might be milk. If it's sheep, it might be lamb. It might be them producing the best quality wool. So what we're doing all the time on our farms is thinking about making sure that we're doing the best for our animals, we're doing the best for the environment, so we're looking after this field in a way that looks after the habitat of all the creatures in the hedges that you can see around this field, and that in turn we're producing the best product for humans to consume as well. So I hope that's been a useful insight, and that you're all keeping well. There'll be more coming up as we get closer to cutting silage and making it. Bye for now.